show with my sunglasses on.
Oh, getting all crazy.
There we go.
We're live?
We're live.
All right, MMA Maniacs, it's time once again.
What happened? Did the sun show up? he didn't have those on a little
You
bit
didn't hear
ago.
me? I said I was going to do the show with my sunglasses on.
I like how he also went, what? Like he just, because you went blind, you put the sunglasses on. Oh, we're starting. I can't see.
Hi, how you doing?
Whatever. What's up, MMA Maniacs? It's time once again for your weekly MMA podcast called Split Decision, brought to you from the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios. Bueller and Dodge ready to break down some news and some fight cards. We got Bellator this weekend. It's a rare Thursday show because my punk ass is leaving town tomorrow.
What's that about?
We don't have to explain it. We just want to do it on Thursday.
What's that
Yes,
about?
Exactly. What's that?
What's that about?
I'm going to a sex parade. I don't know. None of that sounds right.
No.
I'm going to stop playing with that.
Especially while talking about your sex parade.
Yeah.
Big thanks to strongboardbalance.com. Get on board, change the way you work out, strongboardbalance.com. Check out their Instagram for your chance to win one. Strongboardbalance.com. Dodge?
I just did the basic workout to start with. I wanted to see what Dennis was going through. So you got to step over, you do squats, you do the whole lineup.
Is that fun?
How'd you like
It's okay.
it?
It's okay?
It's weird that like it's such a small workout, but by the time you get to like let's say
Felt like I ran.
like 20 minutes into it, you're just head to toe sweat.
Yeah.
And in your head you're just thinking, I haven't done anything.
I feel like I haven't done a lot, but I know I've done a lot because I feel it.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you doing the pull shuffle though that he wouldn't do?
The pole shuffle?
Oh, the paddleboard.
No, the paddleboard. I haven't got to that one yet. That's not on the chart.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right.
No, it is on the chart.
Is it?
It's on the 40-minute one.
Oh,
yeah.
the 40-minute one. Yeah.
And you guys are both doing the 22 push-ups a day challenge now too.
Yeah, I just started that.
And I didn't go to the gym at all this week. Because I'm a lazy ass. Strongboardbalance.com. Get on board. And our other home for news, mymmanews.com. Or down here, check out our sponsors. We have this cool digital thing.
It's here.
Yeah, go on Etsy and get a bottle cap opener. Bottle cap opener.
And of course, you can win stickers and bottle cap openers from us as well, just by participating on our Facebook, which is Split Decision MMA Podcast. Tell your friends, find us on Instagram and Twitter at SD_MMA, or our website, splitdecisionmma.com. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. With that said and done, let's jump into some
That's the
USADA.
show.
It just happens when you do it on Thursday.
Fold it up, pack it in, let's get out of here. USADA is doing some arbitration.
Basically, they're sending official detailed handbooks to the fighters to say you can't just like protest or you can't just, here's how you're actually supposed to do it.
They're telling people how to protest.
You can't just do it on Twitter.
You can't just do it on Twitter. Like, I don't, no.
It's bullshit.
It's bullshit. I'm out. No, so basically they're saying...
Do you take a knee on Twitter?
Requests for arbitration must be filed within 10 calendar days of any notice. The fee is $2,700.
That's some bullshit. Some of these fighters only get
They
paid
can request a
$2,700.
waiver or reduction fee based on financial hardship.
Like, here's my Reebok money.
They will choose a list of arbitrators to choose from. So, yeah, you got that.
Well, they get a list of arbitrators to choose from.
Yeah.
They don't choose a list and then choose off that list,
Yeah,
right?
and then they're given a list.
Give me list 7.
Hearings will take place within 90 days of appointment of the arbitrator. Will take place in person in Denver, Colorado, because that's where they're at. Mediation conference giving the parties initial assessment can be requested by either party. It will be done in English. If they cannot speak English, they are responsible for covering the costs of an interpreter or attorney. So fuck you, Brazil. Like, that's pretty much what they're saying. They have the right to rule, admissibly, any of the evidence. Let's see what else. And a confidential decision of the company explanation will be made within 30 days of the hearing.
So they say.
So they say.
So
there you
30 working days.
Official.
Right?
Yeah. 30 business days.
This is what I want to see happen, because if they're setting these precedents for the fighters, that they need to live by these precedents for the fighters.
This is their basically their appeal process. You have to do this to appeal your decision.
We just seen them do things where it's like, for the John Jones, for example, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have your trial on this day. Wait, never mind. We're gonna move it. Or we're gonna keep moving it.
Well, they can ask for, extensions, like Brock Lesnar's like, I obviously didn't fill out this form. Somebody else did for me.
But with John Jones,
so I need to move it further.
Didn't he not ask for it? Didn't they go, we're gonna do this another time?
I think so, yeah. They pushed his a little bit aside. They were still gathering evidence.
Right, okay. Well, they need to stick by their rules then, too, if they're going to make the fighters go by rules. That's all I'm saying.
Now, that's just for basic appeal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
For USADA. That's not having to do with the athletic
or
commissions.
WADA or NAC.
No. Athletic commission is completely different.
Okay.
So speaking of athletic commission, the athletic commission has come out and says, we just want to make sure all the fans and all the media and all the people out there understand it wasn't a $150,000 fine to Conor McGregor. It was a $75,000 fine and a $75,000 worth of anti-bullying ads that he had to do.
What does a $75,000 anti-bullying ad look like? Is that some special effects, some CGI up in that bitch?
And how many are there? Is that one $75,000 anti-bullying ad, or is that like multiple with a total cost of $75,000?
Like rotate.
Like, what if they just put them in like a green room and they're like, hey, this is costing us like $10. You got a lot of fucking talking to do. See that stack of scripts? You got to read them all.
All of them.
Damn it. Can I just do one? Can we put like explosions and shit?
Nope. Got to read through all those scripts.
Because like if he has to do one NFL commercial,
Right.
you should do it on Super Bowl and just do like 10 seconds.
Yeah, right? That
true.
amount of money?
No, he's just going to do multiple. Like you
Don't
said, green
throw
screen.
water bottles or cans. Boop, gone.
No, for Super Bowl, it would be like, I'm Conor McGregor. Boop. That's it.
I want to see somebody like give him a script and like slip their cousin's script in there.
Right?
Like, what does it say? I'm on a planet somewhere and there's an alien chasing me. What kind of anti-bullying PSA is this? I don't understand.
You Americans are
shit.
weird.
They also want to make it clear, we understand he's upset. We understand that, he has a phenomenal following. We know that he's frustrated. It seems like a lot of money. And,
Why do they give a shit? This is what I don't understand.
Wait.
Why does this committee give a shit about any of that?
But they want to make sure everybody understands, he wasn't suspended. Neither was anybody in the camp suspended. We didn't go after anybody else, even though we probably could have.
I don't understand. I'm kind of with you here.
this is a problem.
It's like
They're apologizing for bringing down the law.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We are sorry we held this person responsible.
right. It's dumb because
And also, we didn't file criminal charges. We just want to let that know that, we didn't do all those things.
I don't think you can
could've.
file criminal charges.
That McCann hit somebody in the face.
Allegedly.
No. It hit somebody in the face.
Okay.
Like, they say the can hit somebody. The water bottles didn't hit anybody.
then they can't hit the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, this is the thing from last week. I'm kind of with you here. When we were talking about this and we were explaining it, like the reason it's so much is because it's a percentage of his purse. So really all they should have come out and said is like, we could have done 300.
Right.
We did 150. Shut the fuck
Oh,
up.
that'd have been hella funny. If they got one Irish guy that works for him,
Yeah.
McGregor, you should tank us. You should tank us. It wasn't 300,000.
Exactly.
I like it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, McGregor. Thank you.
Speaking further on Conor McGregor, he is now finally saying he's agreeing to give up one of the belts when he wins at 205, just according to him. He just wants, he wants, let me see the pictures on the publications with a belt in each shoulder first. Let me go onto the side of that octagon and raise 2 world titles. It's never been done before. Before you talk about stripping it, let me get the fucking things and let me do it.
Which you'll have it.
Yeah.
You will have. They don't, like we talked about before the show. You don't give your belt back. It's not like you show up for a championship fight and then you got to bring your belt from the last fight and put it in the center of the octagon.
And I don't see what the big deal.
To fight for it.
Right now, Cormier and Aldo are running around with fake belts.
We got our belt.
Yeah, you can get a belt. I mean, in the UFC right now, like I say, there's 2 belts that are illegitimate belts that are running around.
Bastard belts.
Yeah, they're bastard belts.
Redheaded stepchild belts.
You know,
I think Bastard Belt needs to be the name of our MMA themed band.
there you go. If you're playing at home, name of the band, Bastard Belt.
And we're just from now on going to call that the interim championship. It's going to be the bastard belt. The show coined a new term today. Good job, Dodge. Good job.
I liked it.
John Jones recently went on Twitter and went afire, basically. There was a recent interview with Cormier and Anthony Johnson, and they both basically called John Jones irrelevant. They said, he's not fighting, he's irrelevant. He's just a normal guy. He's not in the game. He's basically retired. He said, and Johnson said, they don't even ask me about his athletic ability anymore or the greatness. They just talk about his problems outside the cage. Look, nobody's perfect. We've all had our problems, but his are just amazing. John Jones went on Twitter.
Which I'm going to tell you right now, this guy from Ring Report's going to say, shocking.
Says,
Which it's not.
Can't wait to get back in and slap one of these lightweights. Even on the sidelines, I'm more relevant than anyone in that division. You boys know when we all retire, you'll just be known as one of my contenders. Easy for you all to talk shit when daddy ain't home. I'm not even trying to be a heel. Sometimes I just get tired of listening to these clowns. have a free-for-all. DC, I will always be that normal guy who worked your ass. And AJ calling out my cage problems, or out of the cage problems, is amazing, is almost hysterical. Trying to shit on me doesn't make you look any more like a saint.
How come none of these say, John Jones, you will be remembered to me as the guy who wrecked into a pregnant woman, came back and grabbed your weed, and ran away?
Allegedly.
No, that was in the court report.
Grabbed weed? I thought he grabbed cash.
Cash.
Okay, all
Stack
right.
of cash. Green. That's where you got confused.
He grabbed green. That's how I remember you.
And he says, I'll go back to being quiet. I'm actually enjoying not being on social media as much.
Plus, we know he prefers Coke anyway.
Allegedly.
No, that was found in the system. That was not alleged.
Okay.
It was
All right.
found in a drug test.
We're just covering bases.
So yeah. What do you think? I mean,
Whatever. He can talk all the trash he wants until he.
is he trying to stay in the limelight?
Of course he is, because he. I think he does want to come back.
Of course he does.
But he's got to get through all this bullshit. First.
But no matter what he does, are you going to remember him? Seriously, are you going to remember him more for fighting, or are you going to remember him for all the bullshit?
I think it's going to be both.
Like
I mean,
20 years from now.
yeah, it's going to be. He was one of the greatest fighters in the cage.
That ruined it all.
That ruined
Yeah.
it all from outside things. I mean, how many NFL players do you say that about, or NBA players do you say that about?
like Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, you talk about, look,
mean-
man, this guy was the guy.
Right.
And then what happened? All the outside shit just kept piling up.
Matuzak, Lyle Alzado.
Yeah.
You know.
It just becomes,
And there's musicians that do the same thing too.
Yeah,
The
they
guy-
have it all.
Matter of fact, the guy from Bare Naked Ladies, I was just listening to that on the way over here.
Yeah.
One of them just fell off.
Yeah, Kurt Cobain, the guy from Alice in Chains.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Not ODB, but the other guy from Lighter Shade of Brown. Or ODM. Like ODB's old dirty bastard.
Yeah, he had his own issues outside of rap,
Yes, he
too.
Right.
Somebody always had his money.
Yeah, somebody always had his money. Jose Aldo recently met with Dana White and the new owners, and he said, things are looking good, but we'll have to see what the future is going to hold. At this moment, nobody knows. I don't know. I came here from Brazil with my ideas firmly fixed in my head, and my current intention is to no longer fight. That has not changed. That's how I felt when I was in Brazil, is how I feel today. But as for the future, nobody knows. We will see. Today was the first conversation, and we might be headed down a better path. But there's a lot of transitionings happening in the UFC, and I'm not sure they're going to have new ideas and priorities and methodologies. We'll see the direction they're going to take the business and what it's going to mean for me.
I still think, like he had said, a lot of people say like he was going to throw a fight, like they thought. I don't think he was going to lose. I think he was going to do the traditional thing that once they started, he was just going to reach down and tap the mat.
But he only has one fight left.
Yep.
No, that's
Why
what I
not
mean.
win, go out on top, and then go to Bellator?
I don't know. For them, what's going on to lead the fighters, I think it would be huge for him to go in, get through the whole introduction, let them tap gloves, and then him just reach down,
Tap out.
tap
God,
out.
that would screw the UFC so bad.
I don't.
They wouldn't make him a main event just for that possibility.
How can you not if it's for a title?
I don't know. Put another title above it.
True. Speaking of contracts and some disputes, obviously we had George St. Pierre came out this week or this past weekend and said that he is a free agent. He has been released of his contract.
This is according to George.
This is according to George St. Pierre, that his lawyer sent them a 10-day notice saying, you give me a fight within 10 days or I'm done with my contract. They did not give him a fight, so he says he's done with his contract. UFC said, no, that's not how this works.
Right.
And then his lawyer said, yeah, that's how it works, because I looked at it. And this is pretty much what is happening right now with contract negotiations and George St. Pierre.
I don't know, I was going over all the legal books and stuff, and according to Canadian rules, you guys had 10 days, man.
Yeah, but we went through this with
Randy Couture. We went through his
Rampage.
There was a lot of things that happened. The biggest deal seems to be, obviously, with the Reebok deal and as an obstacle, especially because George St. Pierre is sponsored by Under Armour. So we don't really know. We do know his next opponent pretty much is going to be the UFC in the legal system.
Yeah.
They're going back and forth. His lawyer has come out today and said, we notified him earlier this year that he was ready to fight again. We wanted to, arrange terms in a timely fashion. They did not give it to us. We gave him 10 days because in his old contract, if we said we were ready to fight, they had to give us a contract in 10 days. We did that. Therefore, our contract is terminated. They offered us a fight with Lawler, even though Lawler was unable to fight. We take it to be that the contract is terminated. If he can't negotiate a new contract with the UFC, he's going to look at other options.
And that pissed off Lawler,
That pissed off Lawler.
who says, I'm perfectly fine, I'll fight you right now.
Yeah. So he's saying, the lawyer is also saying this is an old style contract. You can't get away with it in any other sport. He's actually surprised that it has. It's not in today's world. It is a nice form of slavery, and he wonders how long these contracts are going to last.
Yeah, but the same case with Rampage. I would just do it.
Yep.
Let's see what happens, and let them. I mean, what are they going to come in and physically stop him from fighting?
I mean, they tried to have an injunction. I know with Rampage, I'm pretty sure they tried to have an injunction.
You get a court,
you get a court order.
No, but even with Rampage, he said, "I would like to see them stop me," and then nobody did.
Yeah, one of the fighters I remember is a while back. He had like a misdemeanor or a felony in like Iowa or something like that, and they stopped him from fighting. Like they showed up, the sheriff showed up and stopped him from fighting.
But I mean, that's a little bit different,
right?
I mean, that's using a bench warrant, right?
If you have an injunction against you, though, and the judge warns you were not fighting at this fight,
yeah,
and then you show up and you go in the cage, there could be a cop just waiting there for you to throw a punch. Okay, you're officially fighting. You're under arrest now.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that it's gonna happen, but it could, or they could arrest him after the fight's over with too.
Anybody with any legal knowledge, jump in whenever.
Yeah,
we're just making shit up.
We'll see what ends up happening with George's contract. Obviously, it does need to be renegotiated. How do you feel about him going anywhere else? I mean, to me, this is almost Monday Night Wars style. Like, if you talk about Bellator as WCW and UFC as WWF, they're about to steal Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Like, if this happens, that's going to that's going to turn. I mean, they got Benson Henderson. They got a lot of the guys that are kind of on their downswing and some of the old, like, just like WCW. You get George St. Pierre still available to fight healthy. That's going to start turning the tide. I mean, it really is. And we'll see a lot of other fighters, I think, jump ship. Or if you're trying to, under your new management, show that you guys are for the fighters, why not get some poster boy like George St. Pierre to sign a new contract and be like, look, George is falling in line. Don't you guys want to be like George? Look at all the money he made.
No, he's going to go over to Bellator and cock block Rory again from
a title.
From a title shot.
End up looking like this.
End up looking like that, yeah. Sorry, Rory. I'm coming for the belt. You'll be number 2.
Dana White's been doing a lot of press on Fox Sports 1. One of the things he got to go do is Speak for Yourself, where he did an interview talking about Cyborg Justino, and where Cyborg Justino went over there and said, I think when I fought Gina Carano, if she won the fight, the UFC would have created a division for her, and she would already be there. But because I am who I am, they did not have my division, or they didn't create a division for me. It's because I don't have blonde hair and blue eyes.
Does Ronda have blonde hair and blue eyes?
She has blonde hair for sure.
I haven't seen her in so long, I can't remember.
Well, you'll see her in December.
Maybe.
When you give me my money.
Hey, dirty.
She says, because if I'm American and everything I did for this sport, I would have already had my division. I don't feel sorry. I just try to do 140 pounds and make amazing fights for my fans. I'm in the UFC now because my fans wanted me to see me there. I love my job. Dana White went on the show and said, you know what? Let me ask you a question. What makes anybody a star? What has been done with Ronda Rousey hasn't been done with Cyborg. As far as being a star, Ronda is a world champion, had the belt, everything else. He says, we didn't have a belt for her division. We don't have a weight division for Cyborg because there aren't enough good women at 145 pounds to create an entire division. That's his reasoning, which a lot of people have been talking about for a long time. There's a lot of girls that can make the weight,
right?
But is there a lot of girls who can make the weight and make it
interesting?
It's like the UFC's heavyweight right now.
It's pretty dismal.
Yeah,
pretty dismal division. At one time, it was great.
It was.
It came back. I mean, we had Brock, we had Mir coming back, we had we had Junior Dos Santos, we had Kane. Everybody was on the up, and it was looking great. And now
Carwin,
pretty sketchy.
Carwin back? I heard Carwin was back.
We got a story.
Yeah, Carwin.
Okay, we'll jump into
we'll jump into that right after this. So he also says, I run the business. I know what's going on, and she could say it's BS or whatever, but I actually know there aren't enough women in the division to make a 145-pound division. The reality of this is Chris Cyborg is devastatingly good. She's destroying everybody. Her popularity is starting to go up. She's getting bigger. Everybody wants it, but it just doesn't happen that way. Ronda's gonna have her fight in December. She wins. She's and he says the girl she's fighting is no pushover. She's nasty. She's tough. She definitely got a fight on her hands. If she wins, we will make the Cyborg fight. It'll be the biggest pay-per-view in history, UFC history. He also says, you know what? He says, Ronda makes a lot of money. She's got a lot of attention. She's doing movies. She has all kinds of other sponsorship deals outside of the octagon. And people look at him and say, how come I don't have that? Why can't you make me do that? That's not my fault. He's like, it's not my fault that's happening. You have to do this on your own. Yeah, she did it on her own.
Right.
So, going out
that's the same with Randy Couture. He went out and did it on his own.
Yep, ran out and did it on his own. Number 2 rated light heavyweight Alexander Gustafsson is going to be taking a hiatus. No timetable on return. He has an injury which has been afflicted him for 3 to 4 years now. Is now taking him out indefinitely. We wanted a quick turnaround. He's in great shape. However, the injury flared up, and it went into his legs. We couldn't make the fight. It is what it is. So he has had something that's diagnosed in the past. Pain disappeared, so he kind of went through it. Now he's going to have to see some specialists. And no return time for Alexander Gustafsson. That sucks.
Well, restless leg syndrome is serious.
I don't know if it's necessarily
RLS.
I believe
and the medication for restless leg syndrome makes you gamble.
Yeah, increased gambling skills.
So,
I always thought they should reverse engineer that and help people that have crippling gambling debt but might get, restless legs at night. Because it's like, what do you tell your family? You know what I mean? Be like, hey, guess what? My legs don't move when I sleep, but I lost the house, so we have nowhere to sleep. You know what I mean? Or, hey, I don't gamble away all our money anymore, but I kind of...
Sorry I kicked you in my sleep.
Hey, sorry I kicked you in my sleep.
Yeah.
I feel like they should reverse engineer that. Just saying.
There's a lot of drugs that should reverse engineer then.
This is a back injury, not necessarily restless leg syndrome, by the way. So,
like Ambien making you get up in the middle of the night and eat a gallon of ice cream.
Right, and then go back to sleep and nothing happened?
Yeah.
Is that what you
why
are claiming?
Why can't they just make ice cream that makes you go to sleep? That's what I want. Give me a gallon of ice cream that knocks me out. Let me skip the middleman.
They make that. It's at a dispensary, sir.
True. This is true.
That would be a Ben & Jerry's flavor for sure.
Korean Zombie is back. Chang Sung-jung is back. He has finished his 2-year
People are excited.
Commitment in the military, which he had to do. It's mandatory for all males in South Korea. He has finished, comes back, calls out BJ Penn. He says, I never really thought about it to begin with because he was always in the lightweights. It wasn't something I really thought about. But now that he's in my division, out of all the fighters in my division, I think I want to fight him. Since I'm making my comeback, BJ's making his comeback, and especially since the Lamas fight didn't happen, I would love to have a chance to fight him.
I think Lamas should still get to fight him, though. It's not like it was Lamas' fault.
But I think I would be more excited for a Korean Zombie BJ Penn fight than I would Lamas.
Korean Zombie's been training for the last 2 years to become a killer. BJ Penn has been eating. So I don't know.
He's been eating killer.
Ice cream.
Yeah, killer ice cream.
So I don't know, man. BJ's joined 2 scoops over the last couple of years. But I'd still, I always want to see BJ fight because you never know. Like we always, as much of a joke as it is, you never know what kind of BJ you're going to get when he comes to the cage.
Right.
And when you get motivated BJ coming into the cage, you got a fucking war on your hands.
Scary fight, for sure.
Yeah. So there we go.
I like the Zombies back from the dead, though. It's great.
People are really excited about that. I saw the video you just posted online.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. We have Bellator announcing a fight for January. Mind you, by the way, I didn't put this in last week's. I forgot. They are canceling all of their cards up until December. And they're moving all of the cards to December, except for the one tonight.
Right.
Everything after that is being condensed into the December card. They're trying to make the December card a really big card because it's going to be their first one in New York.
And it's going to be a real New Year's card.
Right. Yeah.
On actual New Year's.
So on January 1st?
No, it's on December 31st. It's on a Sunday, right? Or something like that?
I think so.
Because the UFC's is on the 30th, which is a Saturday.
Right. It's a lot closer than Brandon's usual.
Their Christmas cards early December. We know that. So anyway, but January 21st, Bellator 170, we have the bad guy versus the bad boy. We're going to have Tito Ortiz versus Chael Sonnen.
This is in L.A., huh?
Down in L.A.
Damn, that's the day before my birthday, man. Why can't y'all have it in San Jose? Fuckers.
How do you feel about this fight?
Oh, I'm down for that fight. That's one of those fights that, like, if it was in the UFC, like we always talk about the Masters division, that's one of those fights I would like to see in the Masters division.
For sure.
That's cool. Because they're both fun guys to watch in the cage. Tito way past his prime, and Chael pretty much is getting
Possibly
there as
past
well.
his prime, yeah.
They should do like a Star Wars theme and bring them both out in blocks of ice, and then thaw them out and have them fight each other.
Some carbonite.
Yeah.
Does Sonnen have bigger hands or does Tito have a bigger head?
Well, Tito definitely has a bigger head.
Well, but his hands look small against that big old head. So.
Right. I'm interested to see.
I think Tito might be a little bit bigger in both areas.
All right.
And he was with Jenna, so he's probably bigger in 3 areas.
Is he still with her?
He was. I'm just saying, if you're going to be with a porn
he fishes
star.
a lot. I follow him. That guy fishes a lot, and right now he's a super Trump guy.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Did not know that.
Big time Trump guy.
And the biggest news to come out of this week is that the UFC new owners are deciding to bring in their own people and a lot of things are happening, including
laying off 15%
they laid off
of their force.
15% of their staff.
So what exactly do you do here at UFC?
Yeah. What is it you say you do here?
They laid off the one guy, though, who got mixed martial arts sanctioned in Australia and also helped with the biggest cards in Canada. I think his name's Tom Wright, and that one was like a big surprise for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying, well, yeah, but the China office lost 50% of their staff.
That's crazy. So is that like 7 people?
Possibly, yeah.
You think that was in response to them saying that China was going to be the big buyer? Because remember, China, it was like, oh yeah, China, you were going to be the big buyer?
Yeah.
You got
now
nobody.
who's the big loser?
Just making some poor sap unemployed.
So
They have nothing to do with it.
50% of the company is 400 employees that are losing their job.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I thought they had 400 employees worldwide.
No. 400 employees are going to be gone.
Wow.
Total.
Yeah.
I read
So
everything wrong last night.
honestly, I mean, China could have had 20 people. They fired 10. It was 50%.
Yeah. They said no international offices will be closed completely. However, they seem to be the biggest ones hit. High-ranking executives were the first ones to go. Marshall Zelznak, 10 years with the UFC, former president of the London office, spearheaded the creation of Fight Pass, gone. Gary Cook, 4 years with the UFC, head of operations in Europe, Middle East, Africa, gone. Ken Berger, 3 years in the UFC, general manager of Asia and executive vice president, gone. Jamie Pollack, 12 years at the UFC, creator of and helper of and vice president of global content, gone. Shauna Maloney, who is the social media director, gone. Just everybody's just getting the ass.
So they say they're going to shut down any of their international offices completely. So there's going to be like one dude in Siberia,
right,
by himself,
right,
and that's going to also be a teriyaki chicken bowl and donut shop.
Right.
Is he in the attic above it, or is he just sharing?
He's making your donut.
He does everything else.
in your teriyaki chicken bowl.
Perfect.
So, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, this is what happens. Like I said, we made the joke before.
Yeah.
This is Office Space, man. You bring in consultants. A new company buys you. They bring in consultants. They interview everybody and be like, so what is it you do here?
Right, but I mean,
you actually hand the paperwork to the engineers? No, I give it to my secretary or I fax it. So why don't they do it? Well, because I have people skills. I have people skills.
That's what I do. Not only that, but we're dealing with a group of people who are coming from a professional sport who have all this.
Yep.
Right.
They have their own people. But it's going to happen.
How much did it suck, though, to be the guy who helped spearheaded Fight Pass? You know,
Right.
what did you do here? Well, I spearheaded Fight Pass.
Well, Fight Pass is done now.
Yeah,
What do you do now?
what do you do now? Well, shit. So before we get into this, what's the Shane Carwin story?
So Shane Carwin had another fight. Came out of retirement for a fight against Jason Ellis. Jason Ellis is a pro skateboarder. He's a BMX rider. He has his own radio show on Sirius.
Yeah.
He does a lot of fights. He does, I think it's 2 or 3 a year, events a year.
For charity.
All for charity. And they're all ridiculous fights. They're all goofy. I think he's actually had maybe 1 or 2 actual MMA or actual boxing fights in there. He once fought Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber had to wear jeans in their fight. That was his stipulation.
Now, it was a straight stand-up boxing.
No, it's kickboxing.
Oh, was it kickboxing?
It was a kickboxing
So
fight.
you put him in skinny jeans?
He put him in skinny jeans so he couldn't kick as well. That was the stipulation.
Right.
He's had guys that were tied together. He's had guys with random shot collars that they would randomly shock throughout the fight.
Right.
They've done blindfold fights. They've done 2 girls on 1 guy fight. They've done all kinds of crazy shit. Jason Ellis decided to fight Shane Carwin. The rule was Shane Carwin had to have his arm duct taped to his chest.
His right arm.
His right arm.
He could only use his
he
left.
could only use his left. And he knocked out Jason Ellis.
He knocked him out.
It's so ridiculous.
So you can check that out. It's on YouTube. It's on all these things.
I'm asking because Shane Carwin, he's the king of shit posters on Reddit.
Yeah.
But he's, with the whole GSP thing and everything else that's going on, people have guessed that he might be talking to Scott Coker about going over Bellator. And Shane Carwin being the shit
Not
poster.
unless they have a super heavyweight. This fucker was huge.
Oh, yeah.
He's always been big, though.
No, I know, but he had like 6 pork links on the back of his neck,
he's
bro.
he's over 265 right now.
Dude, he's heavy right now.
And he talks about coming back, though, too, but it's like, I don't know if that's just a troll job or what, because he trolls like a motherfucker on Reddit. So no clue there. We got Bellator going down tonight.
Yeah, Bellator 162.
And we lost our page, but it's going to have some fights happening.
It's going to have some fights happening. The one fight that was on this card that is not happening, Baby Slice. He was supposed to make his debut
no way, really?
today up against Rick Bing. Rick Bing came in 17 pounds overweight.
What a dickhead.
So they could not, that's not a safe catch weight that they're going to allow. That fight is now not going to happen on the undercard.
Fucking Mayhem Miller over here.
At least he didn't do the Mayhem thing where he looks like, oh, I don't know, maybe the scale's
I don't know what
broken. I
happened.
don't know. It's not this, right? That scale, huh?
Is it these super skinny shorts that I'm wearing? My wakeboard shorts?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so Godi Yamauchi is going up against Ryan Couture.
Yeah.
Ryan
Ryan Couture coming back.
And then Hisaki Kato is taking on AJ Matthews. Bobby Lashley, big Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley, who is former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, going up against Josh Applett. He's basically, the heavyweight title is vacant right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many fights does Bobby Lashley have?
Due to a contract dispute with their heavyweight champion that they stripped. Bobby Lashley has, let's see how many fights.
Just a handful, right?
Just a few, yeah. Let's see what we got here. Oh, no?
Nope, it's not even a record.
Oh, wait, nope.
I feel like this would be like, what are all these? I don't know what all these
These are his MMA fights.
Those are really his MMA
He has
fights?
14 and 2.
I did not know he had that many.
He has 14 and 2.
I'm genuinely surprised.
He's fought in Strike Force. He's fought in Shark Fights.
God, he was fighting as far back as Strike Force?
Yeah. That's where he made his big time debut. He fought MFC, but his big time debut was Strike Force.
Wow. Didn't take more Ginkgo biloba.
Fought in Bellator.
Yeah,
obviously.
but do you recognize any of those names he's fought?
Well, of course not.
Yes, James Thompson, who used to fight in Pride, the guy whose ear Kimbo's exploded.
Oh, is that the?
He's fought him twice.
Explosive ear.
Explosive ear. Chad Griggs, Wes Sims, Bob Sapp,
Yeah.
and Jason Guida. What's his name's fat brother?
Clay.
Clay Guida's fat brother. Who tried to go on the Ultimate Fighter, and they were like, "You're too fat."
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. I can make the weight. Get on the scale. I can't make the weight. Get off the show.
I didn't know there was going to be a scale.
Yeah.
No, this was heavyweight.
Put me back in, B. Put me back in.
And, of course, your main event is Alexander Shlemenko coming back after a 1-year hiatus. Originally, he had a 3-year suspension. For his post-test fight for steroids, it was reduced to 1 year. He's eligible right now.
He has to do a PSA.
He had to do a PSA. He is going to be fighting the resurging Kendall Grove.
This is a $7 PSA.
Oh my god! I don't know what at this point in what's going on in the courts. I'm more pissed off about a guy who got to do 24-hour rehab, or somebody who was given a $150,000 fine and then had it reduced to 75,000, and he has to do a PSA worth 75,000
Or $75,000 worth of PSAs.
Now, mind you, Shlemenko has fought twice, even while being suspended because he fought in Russia.
Oh, nice.
So
Against the same guy.
against the same
recognize suspensions.
Yeah, that's Russia. Kendall Grove.
Why did he fight the same guy twice in a row?
Because it was in a tournament.
Oh.
Still, how does that work in a tournament?
Because it's M1.
Is it double elimination?
In Russia, tournaments, do you. Like
That would happen in Pride too, right? If the guy couldn't compete, then
They would pick the
somebody he
loser,
beat,
yeah.
then he got to come back, right?
Yeah.
That's fucking weird,
Yep.
man.
And Russia tournament chooses you. I don't know.
It's a tournament.
Going against Kendall Grove. This should be a good fight going down on Spike TV.
So you get a chance to watch that
Get
tonight.
a chance to watch that tonight.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's an intimidating picture. I don't have an answer. I don't know.
I don't know. We don't do anything.
Don't do anything.
Don't do
right?
anything.
Not much at all. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends. Of course, check out our sponsors, strongboardbalance.com and mymmanews.com. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at SD_MMA, on Facebook at Split Decision MMA Podcast, and our website, splitdecisionmma.com.
Hopefully some fights next week to talk about, right?
Is it next week or the week after?
The week after, maybe?
Well, we at least get to talk about the Bellator fights.
Yeah.
And the next
And
UFC
tough is
is
still happening, though, right?
Just on hiatus due to the
the playoffs.
playoffs.
But it still happened.
Oh, it's happened. It's over.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been over.
Yeah.
All right.
But the playoff schedule screwed up with that.
They always do that. Every year it ends up happening like
Yeah.
that.
All right.
So that's it. I thought I had something else to say, and I don't anymore.
No? Nothing?
No, I might be having an aneurysm. So thanks for listening. It's from the Ruloff Family Inc.
seem
Studios. It's Bueller and Dodge. You smell,
Smell
lemons?
toast?
Bueller and Dodge. Say
Burning
that.
feathers.
Have a good night. We'll see. What the fuck does that even smell like?
Just